This is another in my Weston Winterlicious series. Tucked on the plaza next to the gas station at Jane and Church is a Chinese restaurant that somehow escaped my attention. Pelmo Family Restaurant, 1898 Jane Street, has been there for longer than the 15 years I've lived in Weston, run by the same couple, so I learned on my recent visit. Let me tell you about it. I made the short walk over to Jane one Friday. As with many of our local places, dine-in traffic has dwindled, so I had my pick of tables despite it being peak lunch hour. I can't decide whether having access to menus online is an advantage or not, but regardless, I'd looked in advance and already decided what I'd have. Hot and sour soup to start, and then combo K, which is chili fish with vegetable fried rice, as my main, and a cup of green tea. The server co-owner took my order and I settled in with my book. But as always, the book is just a ruse. Really, I was surveying the scene. Who was here? What was the decor? How about the vibe? The only other customers were a table of two couples, mid-40s I'd guess, all speaking Spanish. That alerted me to the fact that there was a lot of Spanish in the room. A handwritten sign scotch taped to the side of the counter advertised 8 specials with English names and Spanish translations. The first name on the beer list was Corona, with no Chinese beers even listed. And Latin music provided the oral wallpaper. You might think we were somewhere in Latin America or even next door at Punta Cana House, previously profiled. Except for CP24, the local all-news TV station showing on the TV hanging over the cash, and the paintings on the wall, which, if I had to guess, were scenes in China. I was furtively snapping pics when my tea arrived. If I was in Chinatown, it would have come in a pot with a small cup. Here I got a mug with 2 tea bags floating in it and a warning that it was hot. She also brought me a squeeze bottle of what looked like hot sauce and a paper napkin wrapped around a knife and a spoon. A fork and a spoon. No chopsticks. I get it. The clientele clearly isn't predominantly Chinese, and she's tired of being asked for a fork. I could see the cook in the open kitchen combining lots of ingredients for my soup. Before long, it appeared his efforts had definitely paid off. From the first waft of toasted sesame oil, I knew it was going to hit all the right notes. The heat of the pepper, the tang of the vinegar, and the flavors of the various vegetables and proteins enveloped in the glossy velvet broth thickened with cornstarch. This one had a bumper crop, too. I detected silky tofu, egg, chicken, and a few properly firm shrimp among the pieces of green onion, sweet pea, bok choy, mushrooms, and carrot. The portion, however, was enough for at least 2 and possibly 3 people. I'd barely made a dent in it when my main course arrived. The server placed it on the table and I asked for chopsticks. No, I'm not Chinese, but when in Rome, and yes, I use chopsticks at home too when the food is Asian. It just tastes better that way. While I awaited the right cutlery, I surveyed the plate. Like the soup, the chili fish with vegetable fried rice was also enormous. 6 or 7 decent-sized pieces of fish, breaded, and in the chili sauce, aside a pile of rice that was about 4 times what I would serve myself at home. It was the broccoli, though, that first captured my attention. Its vibrant green signaled to me it was cooked well but not overcooked. When I got my chopsticks, I went in for a piece of broccoli first. Perfect snap, without crunch. Tender crisp, I believe is the technical term. Spicy sauce, but not overly, with a smooth texture. Then to the fish. Very nice. Breading not too thick, prepared in-house, I'd guess. And the flesh not also overcooked. Maybe a little oversalted, but only slightly. The rice was full of carrot, celery, green onion, and I think some protein in there too. Chicken, egg, and tofu, perhaps? I'm just guessing. They were very small pieces. I worked away at the plate, demolishing all the perfect broccoli first, then making a decision to eat all the fish, too, even though I should likely have saved some. I knew, however, most of the rice was going home with me. I was already imagining it fried up with an egg scrambled in for breakfast the next day. I did my best, and then despite having a shocking number of takeout containers at home, I asked for 2 more and packed up the rice and soup for later. I finished my tea and then settled the bill, learning they're cash only. They were lucky that I had any. Cash may be king, but for me, the king is dead and has been for a while. Once I got over that shock, I asked the server if this was her place. It was then I learned they'd been there since 2006. We discussed how the recent increase in Spanish speakers has affected their business, but that as the only Chinese restaurant in the neighborhood, a lot of their clients come from Suwon Academy, the private boarding school catering to many students from China on Queensley Avenue, a short walk west of Jane. As she warmed to me, she complimented my use of chopsticks, noting I did a better job than her Canadian-born kids. We both laughed. I explained I learned because my very English dad, who always chose chopsticks if they were on offer, believed, as I do, that Asian food tastes better when you eat it as an Asian would. Before leaving, I made sure to commend the cook on his broccoli, who explained it's better to enjoy food right from the kitchen than letting it travel all over the city in the hands of a delivery service. I couldn't agree more. Let's face it, dining in results in better food, better conversation, and a real chance of understanding the restaurant and the community it serves. So check out Pelmo Family Restaurant for Chinese food and dine in. But remember, take cash. Thanks for watching.